All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to apostle and elders in New York CMS. Salutation to y'all around the world that's teaching the truth, putting your lives on the line for it. And shalom to you, serious Aqua. My name is Maya Ka'ala Bungad with Chicago Branch of Great Millstone. I'd like to make a disclaimer that we are not black Hebrew Israelites. Black is a color, not a nationality. Nobody's skin is black like these fonts. Alright? The Israelites are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and speckled birds scattered abroad. Speckled birds are Israelites who look like other nations, but their father's paternal bloodline go back to the 12 tribes of Israel. We are not affiliated with any violent groups. We are not affiliated with any militant groups. We are not affiliated with any terrorist groups. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite groups. And today we're going to talk about speckled birds, So in my video series I did the other day, the Trans-Pacific Slave Trade, it talked about Israelite slaves being transported from India to Mexico. But guess what? These speckled birds, the speckled birds are, like I'm saying again, Israelites who look like other nations. Right? And the reason why they look like other nations because their fathers had slept with foreign women. And guess what? You are the seed of your father. All right, so it says right here, Indian slaves in colonial America. Right, it said the seeds of what was to become a modern America were planted on May 13, 1607, when the British colonists arrived at the island that would come to call Jamestown, what is now Virginia. It says the first permanent English settlement in the New World will eventually become the rightful birthing ground of America. It's soil sprinkled with blood of natives of America. That's rightful. Alright, but anyway, it's sprinkled with the blood of native, right? Sprinkled with the blood of the Gadites, the tribe of Gad, so-called Native Americans, European settlers, and their African slaves. So we know these people weren't African; those were Israelites from the tribe of Judah. All right. It says, to this racial mix, we must now include the people from Indian subcontinent. All right. But right here it says, that's because while preparations are underway for a grand commemoration of Jamestown 400th anniversary in May, June 2007, we uncovered compelling evidence of the presence of people from the Indian subcontinent going as far back as 375 years. Virginia people identified American court documents of the time as East Indians, East India Indians, or Asiatic Indians. All right, but we all know, all right, talking to the audience, we all know that these are Israelites who look like East Indians, man. All right, so you are the seed of your father, man. All right, but I'm gonna go to history, show how far back our people was in India. You go to Esther chapter 1 verse 1. All right, so it says Esther chapter 1 verse 1. Now it came to pass in the days of Ahasuerus, this is Ahasuerus, reigned from India even unto Ethiopia, over 172 provinces. All right, so this back in the days of Mordecai. All right, let me get the let me see. King. Let's see what year he reigned to get the approximate date. Let me see. Let's see. We all know that he didn't look like that. All right, all right, it says, trying to get the year his empire was. All right. All right. Well, let's see. After this, king husband, he said to rule. Trying to get what year he ruled. Let's see. Trying to get the accurate date when he ruled. Okay. All right. So it says right here, 486 to 465 BC. All right. So I'm trying to get the exact date. It says the book Esther deals only one period of his reign, tells you rule. All right. So it says right here. It says from India even to Ethiopia over 172 provinces. All right. And the reason I bring that up is that, all right, just show our people, they was over there during those times. All right, they spread out through his kingdom. All right, from Ethiopia to India. All right, let's skip down. Okay, all right, and this is when Haman, the Edomite, so-called white man, conspired to kill all our people in India. All right, because he had a hatred for us, but it backfired on me, and Haman ended up being dead. All right, so read Book of Esther, chapter 3, verse 13. It says, and the letters were sent by post until all kings promised to destroy, to kill, to cause to perish all Jews, both young and old, little children, women, in one day, even upon the 13th day, the 12th in the month, which is the month of to take the spoil for parade. All right. All right. So, our people, they was already up in from India, from Ethiopia all the way to India. You see right here, verse 6, it saying he thought to scorn to lay hands on Mordecai alone, for they had showed him the people of Mordecai, wherefore Haman sought to destroy all Jews that were throughout the whole kingdom of Ahasuerus, even the people of Mordecai. Right, so our people, they've been over there. You go to Acts chapter 2. All right. Right here you go. It says Acts chapter 2 verse 1, when the day the Pentecost was fully come, they were with one accord in one place. And suddenly there came a sound from heaven as a rushing mighty wind. It will fill all the houses where they were sitting, and there appeared unto them cloven tongues like as fire, and it sat upon each upon them. And they were filled with the Holy Ghost and began to speak while the tongues and the Spirit can right. So basically, how I would put the Spirit on the prophets. All right. These men to talk the languages of the various countries where the Israelites were dwelling at. It says they were all filled with the Holy Ghost, began to speak the other tongues, and the Spirit gained an utterance. Right, tongues mean different language. All right, not that gibberish what the church talking about. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men, out of every nation under heaven. Right, so these were Israelite Jews that was come from various nations. And when this noise abroad, the multitude came together and were confounded, because that every man heard them speak in his own tongue. And they was amazed and marveled, saying one to another, Behold, are not all these which speak Galileans? And how hear we every man in our own tongue where we were born? All right. It said Parthians, Medes, and Elamites, all right, and dwellers in Mesopotamia and Judea and Cappadocia and Pontus and Asia, all right. So they had Medos, all right, having a media, all right, yeah, me, so let me see. All right, it's Iran, because Iranians, they also Elam, all right. So let me see, okay, so let me see, Elam, all right. Elamite or Persian, all right. Elamite having a promise, Elamus or region stretching southwards to the Persian Gulf, about the boundary which there is given. Elamite, all right. But these are the same people, all right, from Iran, like it says in the book of Esther, chapter 3. I mean, Salak, in the book of Esther, chapter 1, all right. It said Ahasuerus, Ahasuerus ruled from Ethiopia to India, all right. But also the Iranians, they're Elam too, all right. But it's just to give you idea that people scatter all over the earth. It said dwellers in Mesopotamia and Judea, Cappadocia, Pontus, and Asia. All right. Well, these were Israelites in foreign land, in Phrygia, Pamphylia, Egypt, and parts of Libya, Cyrene, strangers of Rome, Jews, and proselytes. Cretes and Arabians, we do hear them speak in our tongue the words and work of the Most High. All right. Then you go to James chapter 1, verse 1. It says what? All right. It says James chapter 1, verse 1. James, a servant of Yahweh, the servant of Adawan, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. All right. So our people, they scatter all over earth, man. All right. Back during ancient times. All right. You see it right here. All right. From Ethiopia to India. All right. All right. You read it right here. Jews that were throughout the whole kingdom. Ahasuerus. All right. Ahasuerus. Salak. Ahasuerus. All right. All right. So our people, they've scattered throughout this Elamite kingdom. All right. Which include India. All right. Now, let me see. Oh man. All right, I'm gonna get back to the article, Salak. I ain't mean to do it that way. All right. All right, just bear with me. I'll count. All right. All right, so I'll carry everything back and okay. All right, so we all know that these are Israelites. All right, that lived among Elam, the so-called East Indians, who descendants later on brought here to Americas as slaves. All right, and you are the seed of your father, man. All right. If I give you an example, right? So the people's already been there during the days of Mordecai and Esther. All right. So this is virtual Jewish library. All right. So I'm gonna show you this. It says early history. India has the legs of three distinct ancient Jewish groups: B'nai Israel, Caucasian Jews, also called Malabar Jews, and white Jews from Europe. Right. Okay. All right. It says. Let's see. Says the Sephardic rights predominant among Indian Jews. More recent Jewish immigrants to India includes Baghdad Jews, Bene Menashe, and Bene Ephraim. All right. Really, all the original Sephardic Jews were dark skinned. All right. These if they're so-called white, they're not most likely not the original Jews. All right. Especially the ones that oppressed the Caucasian Jews. All right. All right. So all right, so you see right here, Bene Israel live primarily in cities of Bombay, now Mumbai, Pune, Karachi, now Pakistan, Ahmedabad. The native language of Bene Israel was Judah Marafte. They arrived in India nearly 2,100 years after shipwreck stranded seven Jewish families from Judea at Navagan near Alibag, just south of Mumbai. The Bene Israel claimed to descend from Jews who escaped persecution in Galilee in the 2nd century BCE. The Bene Israel resembled the non-Jewish Martha people in appearance and custom indicates intermarriage between Jews and Indians, and the Bene Israel have maintained practice of Jewish dietary laws, circumcision, and observation of Shabbat as a day of rest. Okay, then you go down here. Let me see. I'm just gonna skip down here. It said the Baghdadi Jewish community, so-called, they are the descendants of Iraqi Jews, immigrants who came to that country during the British Raj. Not only include Jews from Iraqi capital city Baghdad, but from other areas of Iraq as well. Jews from Syria and Yemen, Persian, Turkish origin. The community developed as a result of Jews fleeing religious persecution in Muslim land to northwestern India during the British Empire. Unlike other communities in India, who oral tradition attest to present India going back as 2,000 years, the Baghdad community was established relatively recently in the past few decades. The Baghdad Jews completely assimilated to Indian society. Country fact, the assimilation was their physical features resembled to the East Indians. The Baghdadis originally came to India from Iraq, Turkey, Syria, Iran, Afghanistan. So they had dark olive skin and black, dark brown hair that gave them the distinct Middle Eastern appearance and Indian resemblance. All right, so we already know that. Elam and Israel all descend from a man called Shem. All right, and they was dark skinned, man. It ranged from very dark skin to very light brown, man. All right, you know, so all right, but just show you, man, that that these Israelites had planted their seed among these people, so-called East Indian people. All right, you are the seed of your father, man. All right, if your father is like your mother is a so-called East Indian, which is Elam, guess what? You are the Israelite, man. All right, because Israel is a patriarch nation. It says Numbers chapter 1 verse 1, it said Yahweh spake unto Moses in the wilderness Sinai in the tabernacle of the congregation on first day of the second month in the second year after they will come out of the land of Egypt, saying, Take ye the sum of all the congregation of children of Israel after the families by the house of their fathers with the number of their names, every male by the poles. There you go. All right, so you are the seed of your father. All right, so these were actually Israelites looking like so-called East Indians. All right, go to let's see Revelation 7 verse 9. All right, so matter of fact, this chapter is about the elect of Israel being seed, the elect of Israel, 12,000 men of Israel um, being sealed. All right, 12,000 among all 12 tribes of Israel being sealed as the elect. All right. All right, and these are the men who will get spiritual powers or so-called superpowers. All right, and they're gonna basically Yahweh gonna command them basically um, to destroy this wicked system, man. All right, under the orders of they will be following the orders of the Heavenly Father through Yahweh Shai. All right, the one everybody in called Jesus, man. All right, so you can see right here, this is all the 12 tribes. You go down to verse 9. It says, After this I behold, and lo, great multitude, which no man can number, all the nations and kindreds and people and tongues stood before the throne and before the Lamb, and clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. All right, and the Lamb was Yahweh Shai. And cried with a loud voice, saying, Salvation to our power will sit up on the throne unto the Lamb. All right, salvation to our power will sit upon the throne to the Lamb of Yahweh Shai. All right, all right, and God, true power, Israel is Yahweh, mean He is. All right, that's what the name means in ancient Hebrew. All right, it says, and all the angels stood around the throne and about the elders and the four beasts and fell before the throne on their face and worship Yahweh. All right. Go to verse 13. It said, and one of the elders answered, saying unto me, What are these which are arrayed in white robes, and whence they came? And I said unto the servant, Thou knowest. He said to me, These are they which came out of great tribulation and washed their robes, and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. The Lamb was Yahweh Shai. All right. And how they was white, they was cleaned up, man. All right. It was cleaned up by Yahweh Shai, man. They all right, when they received the elect, all right, when they received those new bodies, all right, also the 1/3, all right, the believers, all right, but this right is talking about the 144,000, the elect, all right. When they got those new bodies, they received basically a new download, man. All right, let me get this. I think it's in Hebrews 8, verse 8. Let me get this quick. All right. Let's see. Hebrews chapter 8, verse 8, for finding fault with them, he said, Behold, the days come, said Yahweh, and I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel, with the house of Judah. All right, so this new covenant going to be with Israel only, man. We destroyed this Christian plantation, Christian doctrine, man. They talking the new covenant. No, the new covenant with the Israelites, man. And this is a new covenant. It said, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continue not in my covenant. I regard them not, said Yahweh. All right. Because we disobeyed the law, statute, commandments. Yahweh, for a while, he hid his face from us. He wasn't going to be with us. But guess what? He's back now, man. People waking up. All right. It said, for this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, say Yahweh will put my laws into their mind, write them in their hearts. Their hearts talking about their minds. Their, the mind. And I will be to them a power, and they shall be to me a people. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor, every man his brother, saying, no, Yahweh, for and all shall know me from the least to the greatest. All right, so you're going to be changed, man. Are we not going to go off? All right, then you go right here. It's that first Corinthians, what was that, 15? Let's see, 15, 42. All right. Where it says a blink of an eye. I think that's it. Let me see. Yeah, here you go. Right? Yeah, 1 Corinthians chapter 15, 52. In a moment, in the twinkle of an eye, at the last trump, the trumpet shall sound, the dead shall be raised incorrupting, we shall be changed, all right? All right. So, for this corruptor must be put incorruptible, this mortal must be put on immortality. All right. So when this corrupt shall have put on corruption, this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass that saying is written, death is swallowed up in victory. Right. So, on the whole nation, starting with the elect of Israel, the 144,000 and the 1/3. All right, because the 1/3 when you go in those chariots, man, your body going to transition, man. You'll get new immortal body, man. All right. So that's gonna happen, man. But these people, just getting you a clue in Revelation 7, verse 9 to 13. These for a moment they weren't recognized, all right, but they was told who they were. These were Israelites, all right, who looked like for a while who looked like other nations, man. All right, and this was going right here, man. This is a speckled bird. Was a speckled bird? It's like who looked like another nation. All right. Why? Because his forefathers had planted their seeds among, in this case, so-called East Indian women, Elamite women. All right. All right. So it says, let me see. All right. It says, now right here it said, as these soft agents melded into the population, they will be identified variously as mulatto, Negro in color in the ethnic conundrum that was involving in America, thus losing much of their racial distinctiveness with each passing generation merging into the African American community, right? The tribe of Judah, largely unaware of their Indian roots, right? So we already know that these people are not actually East Indians, all right? They are actually Israelites who look like East Indians, all right? All right, and they got what they and then they merged into the Judites from West Africa, and they look like what their ancient forefathers looked like. All right, dark brown. All right. Well, some of our people during those times, and what they had also had straight hair, but a lot of people they had afros, man. All right, it says right here, it says, my research into this earlier American history suggests that the people from South Asia were transported as indentured servants or slaves, first by train vessels belonging to the Dutch, French, English slaves by the captains of American vessels. All right, so these are Israelites, man. You go to Deuteronomy, all right, Deuteronomy 28 and 45. It says what? Deuteronomy 28:45. It says, moreover, all the curses shall come upon thee, shall pursue thee, overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of Yahweh thy power to keep his commandments. And his statute we command thee, and they shall be upon thee a sign upon the one upon thy seed forever. All right, shall be a sign. This will identify who is the Israelite, regardless of what they look like. All right. And for a wonder, right? These people wonder, like, damn, these people can't get their stuff together, man. I wonder why these people getting all these government programs still can't get it together, man. Right? Upon thy seed forever, that means singular. So only the Israelite is gonna be cursed, man. All right, gonna be going through all these curses, man. All right, what's one of these curses right here? It's Deuteronomy 28 and 68. It says, and Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, all right? Because the first captivity of the physical Egypt was over there in physical Egypt, Africa, man. All right, so this is talking about captivity, Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 6, and it's talking about spiritual Egypt, which is America. All right, America reference also if reference of spiritual Egypt, you go to Revelation chapter 11, verse 8. All right, because you look on the dollar bill, you see the pyramid. You go to Washington, D.C., you see the mummies, the Egyptian designed after Egyptian designed in Egyptian way. All right, you go to southern Illinois, it's called Little Egypt. You go to Tennessee. All right, it's a city called Memphis, which actually was a city in ancient Egypt. All right. Okay, looking at the movie American Graffiti, their gang is called what? The Pharaohs. All right, you when Esau want to honor you, he want to call you Esau, so-called white man. You know, when they honor you, they call you Pharaoh, like they did the inventor George Washington Carver. All right, it says which Freemasonry. Freemasonry goes back to Egypt. All right, it says right here again with ships. All right. So who riding on slave ships? The slaves that came to America. In this case, the Israelites from East India who look like East Indians. All right. By the way, whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see no more again. There should be, thou shalt see no more again. That's old nation. We shouldn't see the land of Israel. Thou shalt see it no more again. There should be sold unto your enemies. All right, so the Most High gave us up to our enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, those slave auction blocks. All right, slaves. All right, as we end up on no auction blocks, and no man should buy me, nobody should save us, man. We have to endure this sentence. All right, but the good news, the curse is coming off us and going on to our enemy Esau, going in the rest of the nations, according to Deuteronomy 30, verse 7. All right, and all right. So established that. It said there is considerable evidence suggests that lots of car seamen were recruited from Indian ports by European traders, reaching Europe succumbed to promise of agents who enlisted in digital service for the New World, or else they were taken to service by East India Company officials who amassed their force in India, subsequently returned home to England, thence to their newly established colony America, where they took their service with them, final wealth and status as nabobs. It says right here the first East Indians in America, all right? Again, these are Israelites who look like so-called Elamites, East Indians, all right? And you see the ad right here. It says runaway about 20 of May, all right, last. A East Indian named Thomas Greenwich. He is a well-made fellow, about 5 feet 4 inches, wears his own hair, which is long and black, has a thin visage, very fine look, a remarkable set of fine white teeth, a reward of 40s. All right, I'm trying to remember that. $40, I guess what it is. All right, will be paid the person who delivers him to the subscriber, besides what the law allows will cost them. All right. So like usually use slave. All right. It says in 2003, study prepared by Martha W. McCartney, a project historian for the National Park Service. Jamestown Archaeological Sets reveals that Captain George Menifee, who was assigned 1,200 acres of land in Jamestown in 1624, used Tony and East India as a headwright. This is further confirmed in a 2006 report from the Colonial Winsburg Foundation, which identifies Menifee as a wealthy English merchant who arrived in Virginia in 1622 and attained legal right to the land by paying passage for 24 immigrants, including a Indian, right, being an Israelite from East India. At the heart of the early migration to colonial America was headright system designed to encourage immigration. Every Asian imported a label serving to the colony received 50-acre land grant. All right, let me go down here. It says, let me see. All right, so they talk about another ad. Right. It says, social historian Thomas Brown, a faculty member at Lamar University, Belmont, Texas, has corroborated in a 2004 research paper. Brown explains that many Indians were imported into the American colonies by the way to England, arriving already Christianized and fluent in English. Others arrived as slaves who have been captured and sold. It is impossible to confidently estimate the size of South Asian population in Western Shore counties, but East Indians outnumber Indians in extent. Colonial records 1710 sold knowledge Browns. Again, these are Israelites who look like East Indians. Furthermore, he claims in 18th century Chesapeake, South Asians stood out from sub-Saharan slaves, both in culture and appearance. All right, when it says sub-Saharan slaves, talking about Israelites from West Africa, the ancestors of you so-called Negroes. It says, since South Asia was a minority among the slave population, their community perception of distinction persisted for a longer period of time. Most surprisingly, Brown add there is a significant contingent of East Indian slaves in colonial Chesapeake. The evidence I uncovered comes from a slave advertising in the 18th century colonial Virginia newspaper. It said, consider the Virginia Gazette of August 4, 1768, describing young East Indian as a well-made fellow about 5 feet 4 inches high, who had a thin visage, a very slight look, and a remarkable set of fine white teeth. Another identifies the East Indian Negro man who speaks French and English. It says on July 13, 1776, the Virginia Gazette reported escape of a servant man named John Newton, about 20 years of age, 5 foot 5 or 5'6" high, slender made. It's Asiatic Indian by birth. We all know he's an Israelite, all right, who looked like an East Indian. Has been about 12 months in Virginia, but lived 10 years, he said, in England in the service of Sir Charles Whitworth. He wears long black hair, which inclines to curl, tab behind a pin up at the sides, a very sour look. His lips project remarkably forward. He left his master on the road from Winsburg between King William Courthouse and Todd's Bridge, where he was left behind to come on a slowly with a tied horse. The advertising about a slave owner William Brown goes on. He is a good barber and hairdresser. Probably he may endure to follow these occupations as a free man who takes up said servant and secures him and go out giving me information thereof, so that I may get him again. So shall have $8 reward, and if delivered me at Westwood and Prince William for the reasonable charges paid by William Brown. Another advertisement placed in July 19th edition of paper by the same William Brown ups the reward amount to $10, with the added information that John Newton shaves and dress well, but is much addicted to liquor. All right. You can see right here above information called digital collection and advertisement, runaway slaves and servants found. In 18th century Virginia newspaper, there are many more such references. East Indians to be found in the geographic Graphic Slavery Project in Virginia, compiled by Thomas Coastal, professor in history, University of Virginia College at Wise for Virginia Center. Digital History Electronic Text Center database available online. All right. All right. So this right here proved that this man right here was actually Israelite who looked like a so-called East Indian. And then you go to right here. It says, as these soft ages meld to the population, there will be identified very as mulatto, Negro, color, and ethnic contour does involve in America, thus losing much of their racial distinctness with each passing generation merging into the African American community, largely unaware of their Indian roots, which is actually largely unaware of their Israelite roots from India, man. All right. So there you go, man. All right, really kill birds with two stones, man. All right, we prove that number one, you're Israelite regardless of what you look like. All right, regardless of what you look like. All right, if your father's paternal bloodline go back to Israelite, man, you are Israelite. You will suffer the curses, man. All right, and number two, you so-called Negroes, so-called African Americans, man. You're not no Africans. All right, period. All right. So, I hope you've been edified and, most I will until next time, and shalom.